Well, hello, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor. Now, today we're going to be doing part 3 of my bookshelf tour. Apparently, some of you guys watched part 2 as well, so might as well make a part 3. I give the people what they want. So, today we're going to go over this shelf, and there's an awful lot of stuff on this shelf, so let's get right to it, shall we? Okay, first thing, right up here up top, is a fantastic book which I got a few months ago, but I haven't read it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. This is Ayesha, The Return of She by H. Rider Haggard. That's right, you might have seen my video on She by H. Rider Haggard. Well, here is a fantastic sequel. At least I'm assuming it's fantastic. I mean, how could it not be? It's H. Rider Haggard. It's she. I don't know how she managed to return, but apparently she did. So here we go. H. Rider Haggard, The Return of She. What else do we got here? Okay, tucked over here into the corner is a pretty cool old edition of the world's greatest literature edition of Ben-Hur by Lew Wallace. Now, it's been a long time since I've read this. Yeah, I ought to pick this up once again and see how I feel about it as a grown-up person. Yeah, but this is a pretty cool old edition. I'm not sure how old it is. Got some pretty cool illustration in there. There we go, Ben-Hur. So yeah, Ben-Hur. I should check that out again. Put that away. Now this thing is pretty cool right here. This is the modern library edition of Les Morts d'Arthur. Les Morts d'Arthur? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't speak French or English well. So I can't pronounce, words. So, but there, it's pretty cool. And this is a pretty cool edition. It's really kind of a readable edition. So, yeah, if you've got a lot of time to spare, pick up this guy. It's pretty cool. So, I'll put you back here, King Arthur. Oops, sorry about that. World's greatest literature. Okay, let me slip this guy back in here. And here is something that, man, when did I get this? I think I got this for, did I get this for a birthday? I don't know. No idea. But this is An American Tragedy by Theodore Dreiser. And of course, the real tragedy is that I've had this for years and have not read it yet. American Tragedy. I'm not sure how old this edition is. Pretty cool. Does it say how old you are? American Tragedy by Dreiser? No, it just says copyright 1926. So I don't know actually when this actual edition was published. Who knows? But I really should get to it. Hey, anybody that's read this, let me know what you thought. All right. I'll slip back in there, and here we go. This is up here. This is just my little edition of Crime and Punishment. This is my little modern library edition of Crime and Punishment, and this is just up here because this is the first edition of Crime and Punishment that I've ever read, and I love Crime and Punishment. It's a great novel. Fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. And so that's why it's up here, because, I'm sentimental about such things. So yeah. First edition I ever read. Up here you go. Now this is cool. Right here. This is pretty cool. This is a 4-volume set from Arkham House of H.P. Lovecraft. Arkham House did this 4-volume set. I think it was back in the 80s. That was edited by S.T. Joshi. And what he did was he took all the texts from previous editions. They all had mistakes, errors. They were based mostly on magazine text from Weird Tales that they weren't that great textually. So he went back to all the typescripts, the manuscripts, and he corrected a ton of errors. And so that's what you find here. And these 4 volumes, you've got Dunwich Horror and others. You've got At the Mountains of Madness and other novels, Dagon and Other Macabre Tales, and The Horror in the Museum, which is a collection of his revisions. But this is a great old set. Man, here you go. picture of the creepy guy himself looking creepy. And yeah, this is how I got this years ago. I got this when I was, I don't know how old I was. I was in high school, but I think it was at the latter end of high school, maybe 16 or 17. And this is how I got into Lovecraft. Back in those days, back in the 80s, there were not too many editions of Lovecraft. It wasn't like it is now, where like there's like a ton of Lovecraft out there. Back then there wasn't. There were the paperbacks, which all had those editions they were the editions with all the errors in them at that time, and they had these from Arkham House. So I was lucky to get my hands on these. Have held on to them all these years, and they're still fantastic. Still my favorite edition, probably, of Lovecraft. Okay, we're moving on to Edgar Rice Burroughs here. It's Tarzan of the Apes and Other Tales. This is Gallant's, I think. Let me take a look at who did this book. Look at that. There's Frazetta makes everything cool. All right, let's see. Who did you? Pretty sure you're Gallant's. Gallant's did this big hardcover edition of the first 6 books in the Tarzan series. I think the Tarzan series went up to 23 books, pretty sure. I've got them all. I've read them all. I'm probably going to do a video on Tarzan, but I'm not sure how much interest there is in Tarzan nowadays. But yeah, Tarzan. Put you back on the shelf here, and he's right next to other Burroughs. Great, John Carter of Mars. I did a whole video on the Edgar Rice Burroughs Mars series. Yeah, and this is a Barnes and Noble edition. Has all those books in it. Pretty cool edition from Barnes and Noble. I'm pretty sure this probably came out in 2012. Pretty sure, right around when the ill-fated movie came out. I liked the movie better than most people did, apparently. I didn't think it was that bad, really. But it wasn't the book. They changed some things they sure didn't need to change. I'm telling you that for sure. Yeah, but this is a great collection of the Mars books. Yeah, fantastic. Ooh, and this is extra special right here. This is Star Trek, the classic episodes. This is great. I love this. James Blish did a series of paperbacks back in the maybe late 60s, early 70s is when his Star Trek paperbacks came out. Just these little thin paperbacks, and each paperback had like 6 or so episodes that were novelized into short story form. And this is a collection of that. Here we go. Return of the Archons. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Look at that. So awesome. And in the end papers here, we have all our boys. I don't know where Uhura is. She should be on there. Instead, we got all the guys. But that's okay. They're all cool. And we've got the USS Enterprise. Now, I read these back in the olden days, but I didn't read them as the paperbacks. I'll show you how I read them. There was this series, the Star Trek Reader series. I used to find these in the library, and I must have checked them out from the library over and over again, because I was a big Star Trek fan when I was a kid, just as I am now. Love the original series. So yeah, we got the Star Trek Reader, Star Trek Reader 2. Of course, I had to get them all. Of course I did. Star Trek Reader 3. Look at the guys beaming down there. And of course, the Star Trek Reader 4. Pure nostalgia. That's why I got them. Yeah, I don't regret it though. I love Star Trek. I love those books. Yep. So yeah, Barnes & Noble. They do wild things sometimes, and this is a pretty cool thing that they did. So I'll put that back up here. Here we go. We got the unabridged Jack London. Now, I had a paperback version of this, of the unabridged, the unabridged Jack London. But every paperback version I ever have ever seen, including the one I got, had a busted spine. Because you open these things and the spine breaks like immediately. I don't know why they printed them that way. Yeah, but I was lucky to get this hardcover version of it. It's pretty cool. And this has, oh, look at that. There's the man himself. So cool. And it's got the first few of his books that are as he wrote them and as they were released originally. Son of the Wolf, The God of His Fathers, Children of the Frost, White Fang, The Faith of Men, Uncollected Stories and Tales, The Call of the Wild. What else is in here? Sea Wolf and Tales of the Fish Patrol. So that is a whole lot of Jack London to read. But I have a soft spot for Jack London. I've always liked him. I've liked him since I was a kid. So I was happy to get this. Speaking of cool things, Robin Hood. This is the Paul Cheswick. The Paul Cheswick version of Robin Hood with illustrations by N.C. Wyeth. This is pretty cool. I got this actually just recently because I saw a Steve Donahue video where he had found a copy of this and he was showing it off, and I'm like, that's really cool, man. I need a copy of that. So I got a copy of it. And I'm really glad I did because it's fantastic. Look at that. Great old illustrations by N.C. Wyeth. It's awesome. It's really cool. Look at that. Robin Hood. Everybody loves Robin Hood. And this is a really cool one. All right, Robin Hood. Now, what else do I got? I just talked about this recently. Not this edition. This is Wuthering Heights. Yes, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Now, I did a whole video on Wuthering Heights. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get an Emmy Award for my performance in that video. I haven't got a call yet, but I'm pretty sure any time now I'll be getting that call about that award that I will inevitably get. Just check out that video that I did. It's magnificent. Anyway, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. Here we go. This is an Easton Press version. It's really cool. Look at that. I got this used, I think, at Pegasus Books. Some illustrations in there that make all the characters look totally different than how I pictured them. But it's a cool edition. All right, Wuthering Heights. Moby Dick. Everybody has to have a copy or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of Moby Dick, and I've got a copy right here. It's fantastic. Nice old copy of Moby Dick. I think it's Franklin. This feels like a Franklin to me. Yes, the Franklin Library. Moby Dick. And this one is really cool because it has a bunch of pictures in the front of it, old whaling paintings that they just put in here. Look, it's a big old whale. It's not Moby Dick, but it's a cool old whale. Yeah, just awesome. And yeah, it's really nice. It's a really nice edition of Moby Dick. And I'll do a video on Moby Dick, of course, because Moby Dick is, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, you have to do a video of Moby Dick at some point if you're a booktuber, I'm sure. All right, what else do we got? Tacitus. We've got Tacitus, the greatest Roman historian. Yeah, Tacitus. And this, let's see who did this. This is a really nice one. Edition of the Annals and the Histories. Is this Franklin or yeah? It's like a really nice Franklin edition of the Annals and the Histories. I'm going to be going over all the ancient historians because I love them, and of course here in Stately Vaughan Manor, I have all the Greek and Roman historians well represented. Yeah, this is a good one. See, I pick up these books off the shelf. I just want to read them all over again. I just want to read them. Yeah, and this is a great one. Fantastic. All right, what else do we got? The Essential Ellison. This is the 35-year retrospective. I think they had a 50-year retrospective, which I don't have. I just have the old 35. My stepfather, when I was a kid, was really into this guy, Harlan Ellison, and he had all these paperbacks of Harlan Ellison. I don't like him quite as much as my stepfather did, but he's awful good. I mean, he's a very talented short story writer. He wrote speculative fiction, science fiction-y type of stuff, and pretty influential writer, pretty influential guy. Yeah, and this is a good book. I was happy to get my hands on this one. Yeah, up back on the shelf. And here we go to Algernon Blackwood. I talked about Algernon Blackwood in my classic horror video, which a few people have seen, even though I wasn't wearing a tie. I was slumming it in that video. But this is a great edition. This is the Centipede Press Library of Weird Fiction edition of Algernon Blackwood. I actually almost sold this. I almost sold it for about $750, I think was the offer I got on this. It's worth more than that. But I couldn't part with it. I couldn't part with my Algernon Blackwood. I mean, look at that face. Look at that. How can you get rid of this guy? I love this book, and I will never sell it, actually, because I just love it too much. I don't care how many mountains of gold they give me. I'll never part with you, Algernon Blackwood. So yeah, this is great. This is just a fantastic collection of his short stories, and it's hard to find his short stories in hardcover for some reason. I don't know why. Here in the corner, we got W. Somerset Maugham. This is Of Human Bondage, an old International Collector's Library version of this. Just a cool old hardcover. Yeah, it's nice. I probably won't be doing a video on this one. Look at that cool front piece there. Very in line with the novel. It's nice. But not as nice as this. To finish off our book tour here. Now this is the Arabian Nights. This is just a small selection from the Arabian Nights. But this is a fantastic edition of this of these stories. The Arabian Nights, the best known tales, edited by Kate Douglas Wiggin and Nora A. Smith, illustrated by Maxfield Parrish, and this is a fantastic edition. Barnes & Noble actually did a reprint of this. I saw it. But this edition is just really cool, and it's got my mom. It used to belong to my mom's. November 6th, 1959. So she was just an itty bitty kid back then. It's really cool. I love this edition. I've I've read this multiple times. Can I find an illustration in here to show you guys? Oh yeah. Here we go. Look at that. Just this book is just full of beautiful pictures and illustrations. What do we got here? Oh yeah. There's Sinbad looking all cool. Look at Sinbad there. Yeah, this is great. I love it. How old is this? I know it's older than... it says published October 1909. I don't know that this edition is really that old. I don't know how old this is because that's the only date in the book. But it's old. I'll tell you that. It's an old book. So yeah. There we go. Let me put you back here. In Human Bondage. Let's move you back over there. Robin Hood. So yeah, that was part 3 of my bookshelf tour. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know if you want a part 4. We can go slumming it down in the bottom shelf there. It would be the final adventure there. Anyway, almost up to 19 minutes. I'll let you go so you can do important things, not just sit around and look at me talk. So yeah, thanks for joining me once again here at Stately Vaughan Manor. I will have something entirely new up probably tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I will do something tomorrow, and I will see you then. Okay, thanks guys.